Yeah. We could be on right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We can edit in. Hey.
Hello.
How's it going? Welcome to the podcasting couch.
Welcome to the podcasting couch.
Episode 2, 2 months later. After the first episode. How very fitting.
Yes. We should mention we are down our partner in crime.
Yeah. Helena's not here. What a shame. We miss her. But she's home right now. And that means we can't get to her. But, yeah. With that being said, let's try and be a little bit more active in the future.
Yeah.
Not having 2 months go by.
Yeah. I think that's definitely going to be a major goal of ours, is try and get as much content out as possible.
Yeah.
And see as much content as well.
Or just any content at this point.
At this point, yeah, at this point.
Cool. Chucky, what have you seen lately since the last time we've spoken?
Oh man, I haven't been to the movies that much because of time, but I've watched a lot of Netflix, a lot of TV shows. 3 Seconds is a big one that I'm watching right now, and Lost in Space as well is another one that I'm really into. What about you? What have you seen? Oh, I'm sorry. We talked about it earlier. Black Panther.
Yeah.
I was like the last one to see it.
When did you see it?
Like a few days ago.
Holy shit. That's crazy. It's been out since like February.
I know. I don't know what I've been doing with my life.
Oh my god.
Even people at work are like, what are you doing, man?
What are you doing?
Not seeing enough movies, that's for
it's
sure.
obvious.
I really need to invest in that movie pass.
I mean, you should.
Behind the curve on that one as well.
An unsponsored promotion right here. Get Movie Pass, everyone. Get it. Don't even think about it. If you make like, I don't even know. I'm not even going to go that direction. But you know what, dude?
If you have a job.
If you have a job.
You should be able to pay for Movie Pass because it's $10 at its most expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's like $6.95, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it is $6.95 right now. That's insanity.
Yeah.
That's insanity. Anyways, we saw Black Panther. I think that we kind of feel the same way on it. I didn't love it. I don't even really think I liked it.
Oh man. I don't know about that, but I thought it was good. I think that as a movie and as a superhero movie, it kind of hit all the key points that Marvel movies try to hit. I think what we were disappointed with is the lack of story, which I think would have drove it home for us, and like the fact that underutilized acting as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even... Because there's just so much wrong with it, in my opinion. I think the visual effects were ungodly awful. Like, so bad.
They're trash.
Yeah, to the point where, like, I didn't even think that Marvel made the movie. Because Marvel, for the most part, does special effects quite well. Like, they do them just fine. I never complain about them in any of their movies. When's the last time you watched a Marvel movie and you heard someone say the special effects in that were bad? Has it ever happened?
No, it's true. I haven't really.
Yeah, I haven't. But the rhinos in these movies looked so bad. In Black Panther, that is.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about the fighting scenes as well.
Yeah.
Seemed like when he would use his powers and kind of jump and leap from building to building just looked unusually, I guess, bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't love the performances in the movie either. I think Chadwick Boseman's okay, if not very uncharismatic. I think that Michael B. Jordan did like okay. He felt like a little awkward. There's something about Michael B. Jordan's performance as whatever Killmonger, which is like the dumbest name ever for a bad guy. You might as well have just named him like Villain McBad Guy Stein, you know? He just feels awkward. Like, I like Michael B. Jordan in Fruitvale Station and Creed, where he's a guy that has some odds against him. He's like an everyman, you know?
Yeah.
He's like a really, really buff everyman. And that's how I like him. That's how I like him.
Really buff everyman.
I don't like him as like the next dictator of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Like I think we talked about this a little bit before, but it was like kind of weird seeing like him and Daniel Kaluuya as the bad guys of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt that his character Daniel Kaluuya was if you don't remember him, he was in Get Out as well. Kind of an underutilized role and sort of storyline in that kind of universe. Mm-hmm. I wish that they would have gone into more detail about like Wakanda and stuff, and just like the tribes a little bit more, and the kind of the characters other than Chadwick Boseman, kind of. But I think we're gonna see a little bit more of that in the new Avengers movie, because it looks like, based on the previews, that it's kind of the fight's gonna be taken to Wakanda. So. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's true, huh? I did not make that connection. Yeah, spoiler alert, that is going to be our main conversation. Yeah. of the episode, but Black Panther, dude, man, like I was excited for Black Panther. Like, full disclosure, I like Marvel for what it is, and what Marvel is very surface level popcorn chewing blockbuster fun. You know, that is where my appreciation for Marvel movies ends. I am never going to say a Marvel movie is on like my top 5 movies of any year. You know, I liked Iron Man 1, which is probably like my favorite Marvel movie, but it's far from my favorite movie in 2008. With that being said, though, I still appreciate Marvel movies because I think that for what they are, I think that a lot of talented people work on set, and I think that there are pretty decent writers, behind the screen, and overall, I think I think that there are really, really well cast actors in these roles. Robert Downey Jr. being the most obvious.
Oh my God,
he's perfect for Iron Man.
Came out of nowhere.
Perfect for Iron Man.
And Tom Holland. Tom Holland is great. Another kind of little surprise, but for me, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
I love Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah. Mark Ruffalo's killing it. Which makes me a little bit more disappointed where, this kind of all comes full circle is I don't love Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. I like him. I think he's fine. I kind of see him as Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I'm like,
okay.
He's fine.
It fits.
Yeah, it's like I get it.
Yeah, outstanding or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Michael B. Jordan, I felt was like a little awkward on screen, and no one else really had the opportunity to stand out in Black Panther besides those two.
Yeah. I think Lupita though. She had like a lot of like screen time though.
Yeah, I mean,
of the other like characters, it was.
Do you remember her character's name?
No, but I'm bad about that. Oh gosh, I don't remember anybody's name besides T'Challa.
It's a forgettable movie, man. You don't remember Villain Von Bad Guy Stein?
Killmonger.
Eric Killmonger.
Oh my gosh. But I will say though, like, it's clear like the cultural importance of this movie, aside from just the fact that it's an okay movie in our opinion, that it's hit all the bars that they were trying to hit, but like obviously like the cultural importance of this film and the subtleties that are necessary and that we kind of forget about was really cool. But other than that,
you know what, like, I agree for the most part that it is an important movie.
It's an important movie, but it's not 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's not, I mean, like, it is an important movie for sure. I don't think it's more important than, like, 12 Years a Slave. I don't think
That's fair. Well, I think it just depends on, like, what you're trying to go for, though. Because I think from a storytelling perspective, yes. 12 Years a Slave especially is an important story to tell. But I think that what makes this movie great in terms of, like, the cultural importance is just like the subtleties, like nobody in Wakanda has straight hair because it was a colony that was never colonized, and straight hair is like a Western culture thing.
Sure.
Stuff like that, and like owning their culture and kind of celebrating and trying to protect it. Like, I thought that was like kind of important in kind of celebrating Black culture. I'm like, sorry, I'm like really fidgety right now. And just like those things I thought was like I think is like what's important about this film more so than whereas like 12 Years a Slave is like it's a really important like story, like the story that they were trying to tell is what's important.
Right. Okay. I kind of see where I see where you're coming from. I'm not going to disagree that I think Black Panther is an important film. I do think it is an important film. I think it's an important film not from a story perspective necessarily.
Oh yeah.
Not from a cultural celebration standpoint either. Like, I do see where you're coming from. It's like, oh yeah, like none of them have straight hair. But I almost feel like that's kind of like a given. That's like that should be how a movie that celebrates its own, that pats itself on the back for it's like, oh my gosh, look at us, we're a Black movie. Because that's exactly what it is. A lot of the marketing was our entire cast is Black. Our soundtrack is made by all Black
and
artists.
that's like why like the ticket sales continue to soar is because of those aspects though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because while that is like a given and it should be a given, it's not.
Right. Just getting to my point here, I think it's important. Yeah, no worries. I think it's important because it's more or less saying we can make a fuck ton of money by having all these black characters in here.
That is true. That's something that's kind of been omitted from the narrative.
Yeah, because that's not what they want to say.
That's true.
That doesn't look good.
Yeah, and that's not what it's supposed to be about.
But you know what?
True.
It's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's important for me, because I want to see more diversity in movies. I am obviously not black, but you know what? Seeing more black characters is going to help.
Just telling like real stories.
Yeah.
Like shit that's real and like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it makes, like you said, it's a given. It should be a given if this is the storyline that we're going with. That no one should have straight hair. You know what I mean? And that should be given. It's part of the storytelling, and it's like you're right. It is like a money thing. Like we can make a box office hit in a blockbuster movie that makes a shit ton of money.
A shit ton of money. Holy God, it makes so much money.
With not just white people. You know what I mean? With all races and everything. So.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, that is something I think has kind of been omitted from the narrative of Black Panther.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, I don't think it needs to be said. I think that now that studios can look at Black Panther and say like, wow, like look at all of those black faces, listen to that soundtrack and who made that soundtrack. We could see an all-female lineup for a Marvel movie, or just like a big blockbuster movie. Like look at Ocean's 8, I'm working on that movie at work.
Yeah.
It's an all-female cast. And honestly, I have coworkers that saw a screening of Ocean's 8, and they said it was lovely. They said it was really good. And like I look at the cast, Sandra Bullock, who I enjoy for the most part.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway, who I enjoy for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of got on a tangent, but overall, for what Black Panther lacks in its storytelling and its character development and its overall filmmaking, I do respect it for who appears in the movie and what obstacles I'm sure they had to overcome behind the screen in order to get a movie like this to be made.
Yeah, definitely.
With that being said, I also saw A Quiet Place.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, you have not seen A Quiet Place.
I have not seen A Quiet Place.
Okay.
But I'm excited to. Another thing that's like kind of important as well, the cultural relevance of that movie as well, with casting a deaf actress.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's like important. It's a little like subtlety again. That's like important and kind of cool to have that you don't really see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little salty because her character just pissed me the fuck off.
Really?
For 90 minutes.
Was it like one of those annoying characters?
No, they tried to make her not.
Okay.
But it still ended up being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She wasn't like the chicken like Day of the Dead opening the mall door to get her dog and letting all the zombies in. Not like that.
Oh my God, did that happen?
Dude, that's in like every zombie movie. There's always like one, and they always make it a female. It's always like some teenage female trying to get like a dog or something that she has, and she lets in all the zombies and ruins everything.
She just gets fucked up.
Yeah, just everybody gets murdered.
It's a zombie movie.
But it wasn't like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, they tried to, like, make it, like, a little bit better, but it's like... So, okay, first things first. I really wanted to review this movie on my YouTube channel that I will link down in the description below. You should go subscribe. But this movie is, like, it's just all glitter and gloss. And, like, not a lot of substance. Like, I was telling you before we started filming that I liked A Quiet Place when I left the theater, but the more I think about the movie, the less I like it. Because the more I think about this movie, the less things make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like, how did they get electricity here? Why did you do that? Like, how loud can we be until they hear us?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these things, like, the more you think about it, it's like, why this doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a baby?
Yeah.
In this world? A baby.
Yeah.
The loudest fucking thing on this planet. Like...
I was also like wondering, like watching the preview, I was like, so how does this work? Are they just around all the time? Is there just that many of them and they just can't make noise ever? Is that like, you know what I mean? Or it's just like a safety thing, you just never know?
Yeah.
Do they only come out at certain times? Like, what is it?
I do want you to watch it, and I do want you to enjoy the movie for what it is. So I'm going to try and avoid spoiling it for you. But like, there are not an abundance.
Yeah.
Which makes my questions more valid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if there are not millions of them all over the place, how loud can we be? How much leeway do we get here?
Yeah.
Because it gets a little inconsistent throughout the movie.
Okay.
But overall, though, I will say from like a filmmaking standpoint, it's pretty good.
Yeah, not
I'm
bad
actually
for Jim Hopper's first.
Yeah.
Is this his debut?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Nor do I.
Well, yeah, but say what you were talking about. Yeah, that.
So this is so funny because I was watching this movie, and there was like a very, very specific scene like halfway through the movie that made me think like,
No spoilers, by the way.
yeah, no spoilers by the way. And this, like, I just watched this part and I was like, this is very like on the nose.
Yeah.
Like, this is very like obvious like filmmaking. This kind of feels like a Michael Bay movie. And then I kind of like let that like, I continued to watch the movie and I enjoyed it for the most part. And the movie ends and then the first few names of the credits roll up and it says executive producer Michael Bay. Yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. No other person can make filmmaking this obvious. Like,
Yeah. Was there at least one explosion?
yeah.
There was?
Yeah,
Oh
there were
my God,
explosions.
dude.
Oh my gosh, there were explosions.
Quiet Place, Michael Bay. Explosions. Not fucking surprised. Oh my God. Only Michael Bay would take a movie where people sign in it and add explosions. Holy fuck.
Classic.
That is hilarious.
Bam.
Now I'm really excited though.
Yeah.
Now I'm really excited to see some more explosions.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
It is a competent enough movie.
Yeah.
It is a competent enough movie. With that being said, though, I feel like that should tie up. Should we change gears?
Real quick, I have a funny story
Go
about
ahead.
that movie. So the reason I haven't seen A Quiet Place is because I saw a different movie, which I forgot to mention, was The Greatest Showman.
Oh,
Yeah. Or as you refer to it as the average blowman, I think?
the averagest blow.
Averagest blowman. So here's what I have to say about it. I like the music separate from the movie. In the movie, I didn't really care for a lot of it. There was like maybe one or two songs. It looked cheesy as fuck. From the people who brought this to the screen, I was very surprised at how like mediocre it was. Like, to be honest, like it was like, oh man, like everything about it was just like they just half-assed it.
Yeah.
They thought that because they hit La La Land, they did the Tony Award-winning Dear Evan Hansen, that they could just throw this out there. And then another
pile
thing
of
too.
pig crap.
So yeah, a lot of this thing too was like the music was a big part of it. It was a musical and like music that they created for this movie. They got all these great singers besides huge jacked man to sing, right? Like the bearded lady, they made a big thing about her. She sings one song, right? Like there really isn't. They don't really like talk about. They don't really develop a character for anybody other than him. Not even like the family. You know what I mean? It was just all centered around him, but it was very rushed through.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very rushed through.
And like, I'm not like, oh, every movie that's based on a person needs to be like completely like following what actually happened, because it's like it's a movie, right?
Yeah.
But dude, P.T. Barnum is nothing like P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, like
you know?
this. I was like,
This guy was a
this
dick.
guy was a dick. Yeah, he like used these people for what they had, and then like totally tortured these animals as well, and like it was just like wild. Also, the fact that like Hugh would like sign up for a project like that, or the people who made it, like the music and stuff, like are like down for that kind of a project.
It's like none of them like knew, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Or it was just like that blind ignorance, like we're just not gonna care about it.
Yeah,
Like out of sight, out of mind. This could be a good thing. This could be a good storyline. I don't know. So yeah, I didn't really care for it. It was whatever. But aside from it, like I'll still listen to music from time to time because I enjoy some of the songs. But yeah, the reason I chose to see that over A Quiet Place is because I was trying to bring in a snack. Oh, and it was loud. And so I was like, oh, I heard that A Quiet Place has a lot of quiet points. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And so I went and saw that. And then left like before the end of the movie.
Oh, no way. Did you really?
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, I don't really care.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, it's not good enough.
Yeah, dude, it's not that good.
It's not that good
at all.
I don't know. It's rare that I do that too. And I don't think that like The Greatest Showman is that necessarily bad. It was just that like there was nothing really keeping me there, and I was kind of like I could either go home now and get other shit done, or I could watch this. So I don't want to make it sound like it was like awful or anything, but it wasn't great.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was bad enough to where I left, I guess. But
Yeah, I got you. It is. That movie is a vessel to sell songs. You know, it's a vessel.
And
to
if
sell
if I'll say one good thing, or a few, I can say a few good things. Like the costuming was great. The set seemed like it was cool. But like the songwriting, like their songwriting is great. Like the lyrics of the songs, like some of them are pretty awesome.
I mean, like, do you not get bothered that? Do you not get bothered that it's a movie that's set in like the early 1900s?
Yeah.
But all the songs sound like they could be on the top 40 today.
No, that's true. But that's like their style, though. Like their kind of music, though. No.
No, I mean, La La Land was like
no. But that's different though, because they're doing an entire concept, especially with like the director and his love for like that style of music. And I think that could be their background, but I think more of like the Dear Evan Hansen poppy, more modern type music is like their wheelhouse and what they would probably want to create.
I don't know.
I don't know. Could just be talking out of my ass right now. But yeah, like that's fair. But I mean, would you prefer that it was like old style music?
Fuck yeah, at least at some points, not every song.
That's true. Yeah.
If you're gonna make a period piece where they dress,
they don't even address like the time period. Really,
No,
actually,
I mean,
now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, in all honesty, I'm very hesitant to say, is it a period piece when the entire focus of your movie is, like, revisionist history on this guy, you know?
Yeah, and another thing, too,
they make it seem like he was such a good dude.
What the hell? He's just, like, he's poor, right? That's, like, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's why him marrying this girl was crazy. Her parents didn't like him because he was, like, the pauper, she was the princess type thing, and then he just buys this fucking thing. Like, he's like, you girls are a genius. You brought this idea to me. And then he just buys it, that building, and then, like, he just starts making money, like, immediately. Like, what the fuck? How does he just buy that
I was thinking
in that time?
Loan, right?
Oh, right. He had the fucking loan. I always forget about that. Because, again, they just mention that. He, like, goes real quick and then lies.
Yeah.
Lies about that. That was, like, the one bad quality that he had was that he lied about bank loans. Like, and then, like, yeah, he just gets all this shit. They just made it seem so easy. And then, say what you want about the guy who's a dickhead, but I'm sure he had to work his ass off to get that shit going, especially in the 1900s. Fucking A.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? You can't just buy a building. It's like, I'm gonna make this circus happen without ever inventing a circus. Like it's fucking easy.
They never really, like... They never showed him being the greatest showman, either. They showed him dance, like, 3 times.
Yeah, and they did, like, how many reprises of that fucking song?
It's like, this is the best show.
Yeah,
you know?
tell me if you want to know. Like, I can't tell you how many times I heard that. Like, I was like,
Dude, that movie was a fucking... nah.
There was the one song, though. Remember how he has to get that one European singer to sing?
The European singer song was really good.
Yeah. I was like, this is dope.
That was fantastic.
That was the only one that wasn't, like, a modern song, though. So
Yeah, no, that's true.
Back
And
to
you know
that.
what, though? Like, that movie... Like, literally everything comes to a standstill for that song. Which is not a bad thing, because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But if that song was not as good,
Yeah.
that would have been a fucking train wreck. I might have walked out at that movie.
That's, like, a song that's almost, like, the end song for, like, someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it was in, like, the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Marvel.
Yes. The theme of this episode, we're going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because Infinity War is coming out, I believe, next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, holy shit.
It's coming up. Is it Wednesday or Friday? Do you know?
I would assume it's Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Remember that, like, hot minute where, like, the movie industry was like, we're going to start having movies come out on Wednesdays because that's going to be the new Friday night movie. That didn't last long.
I thought the old Friday was doing just fine.
Right, yeah. Since everyone's off work for the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, and let's go to the movies late at night.
I'm gonna go see a movie
that.
fucking
Yeah, they
Wednesday
started,
night.
like, briefly, because it started off as, like, the midnight showings on Thursdays, and then they're like, we're going to start doing it on Wednesdays now. Because they just kept making it earlier, and everyone was like, what the fuck is happening?
I do remember this.
I think they do that randomly, though, with, like, if it's, like, Star Wars or something, they'll do it, like, super early, but it just never caught on. But anyways...
Yeah.
Enough sidetrack again. Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
is the theme.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be an interesting conversation because I feel like everybody watching might get a vibe as to what our tastes in movies how they kind of fall in line according to our conversation.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like we're very critical of like those type of movies and stuff, and we like what we like.
Mm-hmm.
We love good screenwriting and all this stuff, but at the same time, you gotta love Robert Downey Jr.'s snappy jokes and just little things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that being said, what's your opinion on Marvel?
It's a difficult way to ask or answer that question. I like them. I think they're. I don't know. It's tough because I don't know if they're necessary. I don't know if they're necessarily good for like the industry because there's like a whole nother conversation with that. But in terms of just movies, if we're just talking about movies, I like them. I think they're good. They get way too much hype though.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's because they're so general in terms of like what they bring to the table in terms of like filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
That not to say that there isn't a lot of work that goes into these storylines and the universe at all, but they're just not complex storylines.
Yeah.
They're very, like you said, to the point and stuff like that and what they bring. So I like them, but they're catering to a very general audience. You know what I mean? They're trying to hit as many people as possible, and that's like the whole thing about it. So I like them for what they are. They're solid movies, but they're not going to be, like you said, my favorite. I'm not going to think like, Marvel or any sort of Marvel series maybe is going to be on my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Like if I was stuck on a desert island, I wouldn't pick like, one of these movies to stand the test of time. Yeah.
No, yeah, I got you. It's like the whole like 4 quadrants thing. And it's like they much like Star Wars, Marvel tries to hit like young male, young female, older male, older female, which is a very hard thing to do. Very few movies are able to do that. Mm-hmm. Titanic, for the most part, was able to do that. I don't even know. Like, The Princess Bride is a 4-quadrant movie. Back to the Future is a 4-quadrant movie. 4-quadrant movies are not like Scarface. You know what I mean? 4-quadrant movies are not...
The Expendables.
The Expendables, yeah, The Expendables.
Or any sort of Michael Bay film.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But Marvel tries to be a 4-quadrant movie series, and sometimes it works. I think that movies like Spider-Man: Homecoming was a 4-quadrant movie.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Guardians was a close one.
Could have been a 4-quadrant movie.
It was very close to it.
Yeah.
Like in the attempt, and I think it was executed very well.
Mm-hmm.
The casting choices as well was another home run.
Yeah. And I think that's what I can appreciate about Marvel movies, and I think I said this a little bit earlier, but I don't really like Marvel movies, but I like many of the Marvel movies,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, as a whole, I see them as just kind of like mindless, like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
If I go to watch any of these movies on a weekend showing, I'm going to be surrounded by people that applaud in a movie theater.
Yeah.
It attracts those types of people, but we need that type of entertainment.
I think what's good about them and what they've done is that they came in with a plan and they know their wheelhouse. Like when they came out with like the first phase, they had a plan of doing an Avengers, but as it like grew in popularity, they know their wheelhouse, so they know what's gonna sell and what's gonna do well in their story arc. Mm-hmm. and they've done very well at maintaining a very large story arc, overarching story, within how many movies and how many years? A decade? They said a little over a decade.
Yeah, they're selling
movies, which is crazy. And then you look over at DC and what DC has done. It's like holy shit! Like Nolan did the DC or the Batman trilogy, and it was like so completely different. It was great, and then it goes to like Zack Snyder trying to commercialize it. And it's showing the difficulties in making a, I guess, blockbuster like series like Marvel has. So it's like their movies aren't complex in storyline and storytelling in that way, but you see like it's not just easy to make these kinds of movies.
Warner Brothers does not have a plan. That is for sure. It is obvious that they do not have a plan, and it's obvious that Marvel's plan has been a slow burn. But you know what? I think that they've done a pretty good job at what they do. Like, honestly, like, I am getting a little bit of Marvel fatigue. I am getting a little bit of just superhero fatigue in general, but I think that when Marvel continues to make movies like Spider-Man Homecoming, which was, came out in 2017 last year, so 9 years into this franchise, I'm there sitting like, if you're going to keep making movies like this, I'll keep paying for, like, movie tickets to watch them.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed from last year, I really enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming. I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
And what else? Logan came out last year, which I thought was
forget that, like, the X-Men, because it's part of Sony.
Yeah.
Is, like, part of Marvel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan was it
I
was
thought it was
good.
just fine.
It was good, but it was like if you just cared about that movie as a standalone. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like, it was just a saying goodbye to Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman. Because, like, in terms of, like, continuity, it didn't make any sense at all. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Everybody's dead. I don't know what happened. We just went ahead and everyone's gone. I thought we went back in time to stop this from happening. I don't know. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
Butterfly effect. Mm-hmm. But...
Logan.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that character, actually. And if they're going to... This is, like, another theory that we could talk about as well. They can, like, what's going to happen after Infinity War. Mm-hmm. We agree that... I don't know if this is necessarily a spoiler, but we think that, I guess, if you read the comics, this is a storyline. So there is a possibility that this could happen, that Captain America, Chris Evans, is going to die. I think a lot of people are going to die. I think it's going to be bloodshed, this one. I don't think it's going to look good for the Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a comic book reader, not by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think I've ever even touched one. But, like, from a writing standpoint, I feel like it makes the most sense for Captain America to die. And just, like, if you keep up with, like, what they talk about in their interviews, it doesn't really seem like Chris Evans, it doesn't seem like Chris Hemsworth are, like, that keen on staying in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for that much longer. I know that Chris Evans, like, definitely does not want to be in that.
I think he's kind of done with it.
Mm-hmm. Can you blame him?
No, I mean, but also, like, I'm curious as to what he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, isn't it in the comic books, like, they're always cycling out Avengers? Like, there's always, like,
Well, yeah, that's the thing, and, like, that's kind of the problem when you're doing movies, is that, and not, like, a TV show. Like, similar to the Justice League, I mean, they're basically the same storylines, but, there's, like, 50 of them. so you can just cycle them out, you know? But I think that this storyline, they're gonna get rid of, like, I think RDJ might stay, at least for a little while longer.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna kill him off, but yeah, the Chris's are probably gonna be gone. Possibly Ruffalo. No, Ruffalo can't die because he's the Hulk.
I feel like
Ant-Man's gonna take over. He's gonna be in it a lot more, I think, because they're doing Ant-Man and Wasp.
That's true.
And then they're introducing Captain Marvel.
Black Panther.
Black Panther, obviously, and then Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And then either Bucky, the Winter Soldier, or I can't think of the other guy.
I saw, like, this theory that Bucky would be the new Captain
It's either him or I can't think of his name, his character name.
Doctor Strange?
No, the other friend.
What?
The other friend.
The other friend?
There's Bucky, so it's he's in this he's not Nightwing.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Anthony Mackie, is that his name?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know, but that actor.
Other friend.
I can't think of his fucking name. But yeah, it's either him or Bucky that takes over for Cap.
Yeah,
I don't know if America's ready for
for a Black
Captain America. It's still Trump era.
Black in America.
But that would be a great fuck you.
Oh man, yeah, right.
But we'll see. I don't know what's worse. It would make sense if it's in a Trump presidency that the Russian Winter Soldier would be kind of the next America. if we're gonna go along with that political Marvel. I see what you're doing there.
The show just took a stance.
Yeah, plot twist. Holy hell, the plot thickens, eh? I don't know if we're getting into that crazy,
goodness.
But there's a lot of options that's gonna happen. I think that they're gonna kill off a lot of the major people. I think Jeremy Renner's gonna be gone, and I think that Scarlett Johansson is also going to be gone.
Yeah, so I have seen most of, if not all of, the Marvel movies, and I think that you have too. We saw Doctor Strange together, which we both agree was...
Yeah, that was trash.
Yeah, the story was fucking awful.
The story was awful. The ending was awful.
Laughably bad.
And I think that they just got too good of actors to play those characters, like Rachel McAdams and Benedict Cumberbatch. Like that scene where he's like, "You care so much." I was like, "This is way too intense." Like for a Marvel movie, it felt out of place. It almost, you know what it felt like? It felt like watching like The Young and the Restless, when it's just a weird setup for a scene, and then it's just almost overacting, like too much emotion. You know, that's kind of what it felt like. I think the only person who can be that over the top is RDJ and get away with it at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my god, that movie. Like, story was horrible.
The effects were fucking dope,
Yeah,
though.
exactly, yeah.
The kaleidoscope. Fucking,
I like
dimension changes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like all like the wall running.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Really cool. They took Inception.
Yeah, it was like creative. You know, it's like that's what I mean about. That's what I'm talking about with Marvel. Like you get some pretty cool shit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You get some pretty creative, you get some pretty imaginative stuff that Doctor Strange, I did not enjoy the story, and like overall if I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10.
I was going to say 5 or 6.
Yeah, like 5 out of 10. But with that being said though, like they pulled that shit out on me and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is pretty cool." They showed me... What did I like? I liked in Spider-Man Homecoming. I really enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming. That was a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming, I like how the suit talked to him, much like Jarvis for Iron Man. Because...
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Like, a lot of the appeal for Spider-Man, if I remember correctly from playing the video games, is all like the thinking to himself stuff that he does. You know?
Yeah.
Like the rationalizing in his own
Why
head.
has, like, spider sense not really been a thing? It was kind of in the first one.
Yeah, like the first one.
Where he was like, and then it would, like, slow motion and you would freak out, but, like, that's, like, a big thing in, like, the comics.
That is the thing.
And in the video game as well, that was like, you know what I mean? It would, like, set off an alarm or something. Basically sound effects this episode.
Well, you get a little bit of the spider sense in, like, the trailer, right? Infinity War trailer. Like, you see chilling on the bus.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Ooh.
Hair on his arm stand up.
Ooh.
Turns around.
Interested.
Yeah. The only issue that I have, that's far from the truth. There are a lot of issues with Marvel movies. The biggest issue that I have with Marvel right now is a lack of creativity in the filmmaking. That is my biggest issue with Marvel right now, because I think that they've done a lot better of a job at making the movies like colorful. And like better to look at, because before it was like awful. Everything was very dull and like gray. But you look at Thor, you look at Thor Ragnarok, that is, and you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and looks better. You know, very colorful movies. So they fixed that. I think that they've done a better job at making the soundtracks like a little bit more better, yes, but like more identifiable. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Like songs that like. Definitely people are like nodding their head and they recognize the song, singing along.
And like, exactly, they could sing along to it. Because before, I was not able to do this with the Marvel movies. So they fixed those two huge aspects of their movies a little bit. What they do, like they just, oh my gosh, it just drives me crazy. Like they just have to undercut everything with like a joke.
Yeah.
Like it's just the biggest like, oh my fucking god. Like, can we just let anything sit? Can we let anything be like serious?
Yeah. My favorite part of Thor Ragnarok, I know we're talking about jokes, was the part with the Hulk jumping out of the... He's like, "You want to know who I am? I'll show you who I am," and then jumps out, and then it doesn't change into the Hulk and just flies out of the freaking bridge. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious. Oh. But yeah, I do agree though that they kind of... I was going to say, similar to that point, is that they kind of know what is gonna work, so they'll just do a joke because they know it's gonna hit. Yeah, you know what I mean. They more focus on like the writing a good joke, and when they can fit in a good joke, then good dialogue. Yeah, and like a good way to do a creative scene or something like that.
I really dislike that, and then everything in Marvel movies to me just kind of feels very like static, you know? Like you never really get like a moving camera, you never really get like a lot of like dynamic like angles for sure, but just like Deadpool I think is a really good example of this. People love Deadpool, which I don't know if I could share the sentiment, but like whenever there are like two people talking, it's just like over the shoulder and then over the shoulder, like there's just two angles, you know? Two angles, it's just cutting, flicking back and forth. I feel like I'm watching a sitcom, you know?
Yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which is why I like this movie so much, because I think that it was enjoyable, I think it was funny, the performances were good, and on top of all of that, I think that James Gunn, as the director, did a very good job at making things more interesting. You know, even something as simple as two people talking, he was able to move the camera and pan the camera so that it's better than just watching like two like quick cuts.
Yeah, and like you're getting more of like the emotion of the characters, and I think that's something that's sort of lacking in the filmmaking aspect of it, because all you're seeing is just them getting their ass beat and then winning and then like persevering through that, but you're not seeing like, other than pain, like you're not really seeing any sort of other emotion besides joking and shit like that.
Yeah.
And the camera angles is a good way to kind of showcase that, and you don't really see that.
Yeah. Like, I am rewatching the Harry Potter series. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, both of the books and the movies. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier, especially for Harry Potter 1 through 4 at the very least. There's a lot of, like, personality in the filmmaking. There's a lot of, like bump movements, like some zooms in and zoom outs. Like a camera that is kind of more, it acts more like an omniscient being in that it just travels all throughout Hogwarts, and then it's hard to explain, but
I felt like maybe this will help, I guess, get that thought across, is like the first four, I felt like they're in, like, speaking of the three, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, their environments, like the sets and everything, and the way the movies sort of unfolded, kind of, I guess, blended together so well. Like in terms like costuming, sets, like post, and like sound, and like the music especially. Like John Williams did such a good job with the score. Holy crap! But to convey the emotion that all you really needed to worry about when seeing these movies was the acting ability of these three kids. Because like we talked about the casting choices, it was unreal. Like every single person was spot on with their characters, spot on with everything, and then it just came down to like just these three kids that we don't know. So maybe that, I guess, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of creativity. You know what? I feel like Marvel sometimes, as a modern blockbuster movie franchise series, it feels very like committee like. You know, like every decision feels like a team of like 10 people are like, you know what? Like I think that this is like the best thing to do. You know. Yeah. This is the best move for business.
Very commercialized.
Yeah, very commercialized.
You know that, yeah, no, you're so right, because like they know that every single little thing they do, they have to market it to millions and millions of people in different countries and different cultures, so they have to, like,
trying to be 4 quadrant, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
That's like that's like the shittiness of like when you blow up.
Don't get me about that.
Just in like general, like with artists as well, like in music as well. It's like it's when you get bigger and you're appealing to a larger audience, you have to think about every single little detail like that.
Yeah. Man, do you ever get bored just like watching Marvel movies? Like Black Panther, I was so bored.
Yeah, because it's like you said, like they know what formula works, so they stick to this. They stick to their guns, and all they've really changed is they've updated the costumes. I mean, like they've done like the coloring and stuff, like you said, but in terms of like the writing and the filmmaking aspect, not much has changed. Yeah. So or I guess I should say camera work, not filmmaking. But it's very straightforward. It's like that camera 1, camera 2, like back and forth, and then just very straightforward with the writing, like joke here, drama, witty comeback, like there's not a lot of depth to it that I think you were kind of getting in the first ones a little bit, but then as they got popular, like they were focusing on the stuff that sells.
Yeah, it's like
it's shitty.
it feels very like checklist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to have the initial incident right here, you know. We need to then have internal conflict here, fight scene, joke.
We should make a checklist for Infinity War.
Yeah, it's like a drinking game, you know.
Yeah, it really is.
Drink every time Captain America says something righteous.
There's only one God, man.
Yeah.
That was of like all of the movies. That's like the one thing that bothers me about his character. Was that they added that one line. Like, in no way have they really ever talked about religion. And then one scene is like, don't go out there, Cap. These guys are like gods. There's only one God, man. And then dives out like, what the fuck? And they just tried to glance over it like he didn't just fucking say that.
Dude, that older female, older male quadrant, man.
Oh my god, I know. You gotta hit everything. You gotta sell to everybody.
Just pandering.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like, what were we talking? Oh, yeah, like, Captain America's just like, Tony, you know, I have to do what I have to do. Like, just like something like...
What did he say? He's like, you were my friend. He's my friend. You were my friend. Like,
so was I.
You were my friend once.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, there's not really much to say about Marvel that I feel like already hasn't been said a million times, both on the good end of Marvel and the bad end of Marvel, you know? Mm-hmm. I think that we can both kind of pride ourselves on being two people that can appreciate, you know, like, very, very good filmmaking, but I can also find enjoyment in watching like a Marvel movie. You know, a lot of times I have to like, you know, I'll be sitting in my seat and I'll like roll my eyes a couple times, but there are some good character moments, and you know, I always appreciate seeing. I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe because at the end of the day, it's just a big story, man. You know, like, and there has to be a lot of effort in making like all of these movies feel relatively seamless, and like they are pushing along like their own smaller scale narrative, but also the macro narrative that is, you know,
and as well as like the acting too. Their performances have also, I think, really helped the audience kind of. Sorry, I'll move it around. I forgot what I was saying. Sorry. Oh yeah, they do a good job of. It helps like the audience kind of. They're like holding their hand with it with their performances as well, because their performances are so consistent, as well as with their personalities. You know what I mean? Like each character has their own personality, and they're both like the actors have been very good at maintaining those personalities and making it their own, I guess.
Yeah.
In a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I cannot see anybody else really be Iron Man besides Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming
same
that's
with Captain America and Chris Evans, and I mean myself included with Mark Ruffalo in the conversation, like in his character, Scarlett Johansson. You know, it's hard to replace really anyone.
Yeah.
Even Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
The most useless Avenger.
Pepper Potts.
Oh my God, Pepper Potts.
Gwyneth Paltrow's
That's just like a $500,000 signing right there for no reason. Like. Man. For 30 seconds of a scene.
That is an easy job.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean he doesn't want to go to the press? I just told him that he was going to come out here, and then that was it. That was it. Like,
that's an easy character to play.
Yeah.
Concerned person. You know.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Tony. Tony.
You're not actually having dinner with me, Tony. That was so funny.
You promised, Tony.
So let's move on from saying what we like and dislike about the universe now, and let's get into maybe like our favorite movies.
Yeah.
And ones that we liked and why.
Yeah.
Why they stand out, and then maybe some that we dislike and why they were trash.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Chucky.
Yeah.
I was going to do the same thing. I do have a favorite. I think that Iron Man 1 is still the best Marvel movie. And not just from like a filmmaking level, which is like, I feel like it's fine, but holy shit, that movie is so charming. That movie has so much heart, as some people like to say.
It's probably the most complete movie in terms of, like, especially in terms of character development in a single movie.
Sure.
I would say.
Yep.
And I think that they wouldn't have been able to do that without RDJ for sure. Like, he really made that character his own.
Oh, absolutely.
And similar to like Tropic Thunder, I think that and Iron Man were like his coming out party again.
Yeah, that's right.
And really showcase how great of an actor he is, to be honest. Even though it's like two blockbuster, I guess, comedies and adventure movies, like it's crazy. Like that's how good of an actor he is, because he does very serious films as well as those.
Yeah, so. He did Zodiac, like the year
he
before.
was in Zodiac. Yeah,
that was only 2007.
And then that was so wild. I was like, I remember watching that and I was like, is that fucking Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, right?
He's still alive? That's literally what I said. I was like, he's still alive? He's kind of like Charlie Sheen.
He did good.
He did great. I was like, hell yeah. Because I remember he was all like, what is it, like, doped up on heroin and shit, right? Yeah, so he's come a long way. And that's really cool to see.
Did you know that for Iron Man 1, they did not even have a script before they started shooting?
Really?
They did not have a script because they spent so much time on the special effects that they didn't write a script. And everybody on set essentially was improvising the entire time, including Robert Downey Jr. and
Jon Favreau.
Yeah, Obadiah Stane. I don't know whoever the bad guy is. Tony.
Dude, it's the dude, man.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right.
Fucking. Oh my god.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. That's right.
I'm sorry. The dude.
Good old Obi.
All the dudes. And dudettes.
Yeah. So Iron Man 1's probably my favorite. What about you?
That's a tough one. I really enjoyed Iron Man. Like I said, I think it's the most complete character development style film that they've put out. I think you and I also agree on Guardians of the Galaxy.
First one.
The casting for that one, in my opinion, is probably the best that they've ever done. Chris Pratt is perfect for that role, similar to Robert Downey Jr. I think it fits their personality so well.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, underrated
Yeah.
in that movie. I mean, people forget because he does voice work, but he was great. Vin Diesel doing Groot. I think I said this in the first episode. I don't remember. If not, I mentioned it just when we were hanging out, that Vin Diesel recorded I Am Groot like over 100,000 times and in over 1,000 different languages.
Holy smokes.
Because that's how committed he wanted to be to the role. Because he was like, if these are my only lines, like I might as well do that. So that was pretty cool. And then he also did Baby Groot as well, I think.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna do Teenage Groot now. And then Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
I think is also another great actress as Gamora. She was great. And I think the dark horse that no one saw coming, freaking Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
WWE wrestler going actor, and he was great. And like the comedy too, like everyone knew like their style. It felt seamless. Like I'm sure it was a lot of great writing, but it almost felt like that was just them, like on set, just fucking around, which was really cool. And the visual effects in that movie were great.
Yep.
The storyline fit really well. Lee Pace as not, is it Ronan? Yeah, Ronan, the bad guy. He was in Lord of the Rings as like the High Elf King. I don't know if you know. Yeah. He was really good. What's his name? John C. Reilly in it. Cameo.
That's right. Yeah. That's
and
funny.
Glenn Close. Like what the heck? So
Close.
I think it was just a really great movie, and like you said, this was kind of like, in my opinion, the new wave or the dawn of the new wave of Marvel with Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, in terms of like the style in which they're going with, and like the brightness and colors, like even in Black Panther, Wakanda, like the colors that they chose for that, and like purple for his suit and everything and all that.
Yeah. The soundtrack in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was another one. Yeah, you kind of talked about that too with the importance of like the soundtrack, and I think that was probably the first one that kind of was a home run for them.
Yeah. I don't know the name of the song, but the one that goes like, I like immediately associate it.
Hooked on a Feeling.
Hooked on a Feeling? Yeah.
Bruce Wade, 1978.
I associate that song with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And it's funny. It's what's great about that, too, is that, like, it's similar to how Star Wars did, like, the way they release, like, series, is that you have multiple generations listening to this music now. And something that's, like, really fun.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy is what people call lightning in a bottle. It's like when everything just kind of works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Princess Bride is kind of something. Oh my god. It works.
Such a great movie.
It's just so good. It has no reason to be as good as it is.
Yeah, it just is.
It just is, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 1, it's just that good. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Not your favorite actor from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but your favorite character and why? Character.
I would say like originally probably Iron Man and Tony Stark, just because of the sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward, probably Chris Pratt's character, Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Again, with like the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what's great about their characters, like even though like they joke around a lot, they have great timing.
Yeah.
And they always have the best timing. It's never like, even though like the movies are very centered on like these witty comebacks and stuff like that, like both of those characters are just, I think they write their jokes so well that it's hard not to love them.
Yeah. My favorite character is definitely Hawkeye.
Really?
No.
I was like, what the fuck? I was just shitting on him. I didn't say anything.
Easily the worst.
It's like, no way. You know what's funny? I actually have a friend. Shout out to Patrick Tevin in Washington D.C. His favorite character is Hawkeye.
How?
But
Why?
he's a big comic guy, and he is way more utilized and actually way more important in the comics. Similar to like Green Arrow in Justice League, and in the DC universe, he uses way more weapons than just an arrow, than bow and arrow. Like there's different like bombs and shit that he uses, and yeah.
You could literally have Hawkeye do anything in the comics, and it would still be more than what he does in the movies.
Yeah, yeah. They don't even show him killing anybody. You notice that?
Yeah.
He's just in the background. You just assume that he's killing people. They never show him like actually working anyone. Even like when they introduced his character with Black Widow, they would just focus on the Scarlet Joe, just kicking ass, and then he's just in the background.
They always try and like do something that make you look at Hawkeye and just be like, oh, you know, it was kind of cool, but like,
dude, finish your thought though. But
it's just never dope at all, ever.
What was the? Okay, so in Avengers: Age of Ultron, when they go to his house and
Yeah,
he has
what the fuck was that?
And Velma was his fucking wife, bro, and they have kids and shit. I'm like, how does this guy have this?
Yeah.
The fuck? Like, and, like, it was so random. Like, and then like they're chopping wood outside, like everything's fine. Meanwhile, like Zircovia or whatever the hell is getting demolished by electronic dude, the internet, basically.
that's what they tried to do to make you like Hawkeye more. You know, it's just like,
yeah, they're like, don't forget about this guy.
This is fucking pathetic. Like, this is so boring. Yeah. Ugh.
Do you think Samuel L. Jackson's gonna make an appearance?
Dude, where's he been?
Was it the end of Winter Soldier, or was it Civil War? Right?
Mm-hmm. Was he in Civil War? I don't think he was in Civil War.
No, it was Winter Soldier because that was when Shield was bad.
So is he still like dead?
No, he was. Remember, they went to like his gravestone at the end of it, and then him and Scarlet Joe went on like a mission or something.
Oh, is he still on that mission?
I don't know. I think he's kind of just. I think he's finding people. That's like his deal. I don't remember. I should rewatch that scene.
He's the scout for.
Well, I mean, yeah, kind of. That's kind of like been his deal. And honestly, like, what the fuck is his power?
Scouting out people for the
Besides
Avengers.
yelling, motherfucker.
Trying to find some new talent for the Avengers.
Yeah, he's like Dana White looking for a fight.
What's your vert?
We're here in Milwaukee. Trying to find the next superhero. I'm looking for the next Spider-Man out there.
What's your 40 time?
Yeah.
How much do you lift?
Oh my god.
It's your fucking talent. Yeah, cool. I mean, I think that we can kind of wrap it up here. Lord knows, I did not know what to talk about with Marvel for an hour.
Yeah. Real quick though, what's your least favorite? Who's your least favorite character?
Oh god.
Besides Hawkeye.
So
and what's your least favorite movie as well?
To answer my own question, my favorite character, probably like. Oh my gosh! Like, characters just don't really stand out. Like, I think I'd have to be
Smulders or whatever.
Yeah, right. Like Agent Hill.
Yeah.
No. Coulson.
Dude, Coulson was the shit.
Dude, that's who worked in the first movie. Oh, you know what? Loki. Loki's probably my favorite character.
Oh my! Yeah, but he's not an Avenger though.
I don't give a fuck.
He's a character though. That's true. Tom Hiddleston
just steals the show.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Really, just
unbelievable.
Steals.
Made that character his own as well.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's why he's still in it, because they would have killed off Loki or like left him for dead like a while ago and just not done anything. But he's so good.
He's so good
that it's hard not to want to keep him. And especially, and honestly, like his chemistry with Chris Hemsworth is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, their banter back and forth in Thor Ragnarok was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious. What I like what they've done with his character too is they've given him the freedom to kind of be good and funny a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think like also same with Thor. Like I know that was a big thing with him, right? He said that he wanted a little bit more freedom with his character to be funny instead of serious all the time. And
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
It benefits, yeah.
Yeah.
It benefits. So that's my favorite. My least favorite, I don't know, probably Hawkeye. Like, oh my gosh, Vision. They don't know what to do with this guy.
Okay,
dude.
so I think he's dead.
He's dead. He's 100%.
Well, I mean, obviously, because he's
Yeah.
made of an Infinity Stone, but dude, there's a crazy story. Well, I guess we can wrap it up on this, but like about Paul Bettany, because a very underrated actor in general. Like he's so good, and I guess he was having trouble finding work, and then he just went in there. He was like, I guess he went in for like a casting for some other thing, and the guy told him you'll never work in Hollywood. So he was literally crying on like the sidewalk, and then got the call that he was gonna play Vision.
Wow.
They were like, we like see you as this guy. Like you have to be in it, and they wrote him in.
That's amazing. Good for him.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then they didn't do shit with him.
Oh, yeah, right. That sucks.
I don't know what I am.
Yeah.
I'm not Jarvis.
It's too like he's like the Hulk. You know what? Like he's just too strong, so they have to like have him babysit that one girl for all of Captain America
Red
Civil
Witch.
War.
She's dead too.
Scarlet Witch or whatever.
Scarlet Witch.
She's probably dead, right?
Of the two, why did they keep her and
Instead
not
of Quicksilver.
Quicksilver? Quicksilver was way better. That actor too, I can't think of his name.
They have to make Kick-Ass 3, that's why.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
I really hope they don't make Kick-Ass 3.
Did you like the second one?
No.
Yeah,
It was really bad. Kick-Ass 1 wasn't even that good. It was better.
It was like a good concept, but then that was it.
Yeah.
Just like kind of those like graphic novels are just too much, I think, in some ways. Like, and they aren't executed well. Same with like Watchmen, but that's a whole other conversation.
That is a whole. Oh man, that is a whole nother conversation. Yeah. Zack Snyder is an episode in and of itself.
Even 300.
I like 300.
I liked it, but it wasn't historically accurate by any means at all.
I mean, do you get mad at like?
Well, I mean, in terms of like, not just like the ridiculously of them throwing a spear like 100 yards, but I mean like just in general. Like I was just like, other than the fact that there was 300 Spartans at like the. At the hot gates, the pass, like that was pretty much it. That was the only thing that they really like. They wore red capes, good. They did the phalanx, thank you. That was it.
You're telling me they didn't push like millions of
millions
of Persians off the cliffs?
It was just weird. Yeah, I mean he has that like
holy shit.
I mean, again, we could do a whole episode on just trashing Zack Snyder, but he has this like uncanny ability to take things and then add some weird ass shit to it, like Sucker Punch, like Watchmen, and like that movie as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Alrighty.
Least favorite Marvel movie before?
Oh yeah.
Mine is Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah. I was gonna say Thor 2 probably.
I don't even know what else it could be.
Or Iron Man 3.
I liked Iron Man 3 more than I liked Iron Man 2.
It was the best. Oh, I liked Iron Man 2. Because Don Cheadle's the shit.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with the... Okay, do you know the actor who played that Agent Rhodes in the first one? War Machine?
Yeah.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
He gets killed off in everything that he's in, other than Empire. Like, that's like his first role that he's been able to keep. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This guy's so good.
It's like Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Gets killed off and everything.
Yeah, they just recast him. Maybe he's too much money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways. I would say either Thor, Dark World, or... Oh, yeah, Thor Dark World was bad because it was literally just a movie to get an Infinity Stone there. And then, like, with Iron Man 3, I felt like they just needed another... They just wanted another RDJ movie. Because the storyline was so fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce was awesome. But, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, his past is gonna come to haunt him again? Like, that. I thought that was the second one.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Thor: The Dark World was just way too serious.
Yeah.
It was way too serious.
Dude, the villains in that series, because
I don't even remember the Dark Elves.
yeah, right. It was that weird ass dude, and then even in the third one, like Ragnarok, it was like Kate Blanchett, and that weird ass. She just shoots spears out of her fucking hands, like that's her power.
I fucking loved Kate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, she was gnarly.
She
but
was
I'm
so,
saying
like-
like these villains though, like it's like they're so dark,
Yeah.
and I don't really.
Oh. I actually
Maybe
I
that's
loved,
just because it's like a Norse god thing. Sorry.
yeah, no worries.
Cut you off.
Loved Kate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok. I thought she was just so over the top, and I loved it. I thought it fits so well.
I think like because she's such a great actress, like she's able to do that. But what I didn't like was because the use of CGI. I think because she's a little bit older, and just the character in general was just like she would just like go up in the air and then spin and shoot a bunch of like spears, and it just looked super like kind of ridiculous.
Like Street Fighter.
Fake. Yeah, like it would, it would seem kind of ridiculous a little bit.
Like Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah,
You ever play that game?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that game was fun.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah, Lu Bu.
Dude, oh my god, dude, you can never
That
get.
dude's the man.
They made him so strong in the
Yeah.
most
like-
recent games.
You like go fight him and then run away.
Fucking
heal up,
unbelievable,
and
dude.
come
Yeah,
back,
exactly. Yeah. Get your health down to red, so
or
your
just
moves
charge the fucking Oh my God. So funny.
Just like bait him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, cool. On that note, that was our Marvel discussion. We did better at
Fuck
staying.
you, Hawkeye. Fuck you, Thor too.
We did better at staying on topic than the first episode.
I will say that. Yeah.
Getting better. Quality should be up too on the video.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in 3 months.
Bye.